So as requested, I'm going to do a whole 24KJHON edit walkthrough. This is not going to be a full tutorial on how to do every single thing step by step, but this is going to be a walkthrough of edit I made of the latest 24KJHON edit as the time of this recording. I just want to say this project file will be on my page for free, just for you guys to literally just like copy everything here, but this is just going to be a walkthrough on literally how to do it yourself, because it's better to know how to do it yourself than, you know, use a project file. We're going to start with, you know, the composition sizes, the actual clips, and then we're going to go on the text and the effects we're going to be using. So just to start, the composition size he uses is 1330 by 1080. This is a weird resolution just to use, but 24KJHON is known for using weird composition sizes. The duration is, you know, 26 seconds, and the frame rate obviously has to be 60 FPS. Every clip that he has here is motion blurred and with frame blending just to reach 60 FPS. So what I've learned from editing this is that he uses a scale a lot. He like zooms in the clip a lot. So as you can see, the scale here for the first clip is 62%. The position for here is, you can see that the first position is actually like on Deborah, and then it moves onto the jar, which is the main part of the actual edit. So yeah, you can see here the motion blur here is kind of strong here. He doesn't use RSMB, so he doesn't use real smart motion blur. Kind of surprising for his edits, but he doesn't use it as much. Yeah, there's not much you can say about the clips. The clips are just motion blur and frame blending. There's nothing much here. These are all from 411 scene pack, so season 1 of Dexter, so there's not much to say here. Yeah, that's it. To go on the effects now, as he uses the transitions he uses now, it's not a lot. He fades in the clip a lot. As you can see here, the fading is not very difficult to do, it's just opacity here. Just put up keyframe for opacity, and then put it to 0 at the end of clip, and then at the next clip you just fade it from opacity 0 to 100. Not very difficult to do that. He doesn't use a lot of transitions in this edit, or basically any edit like he does now. As you can see here, there's another fade transition. The most notable here, is another fading transition is basically you get another clip on top of your scene pack, and then you just fade it in. So you just put opacity from 0 to 100, and then you fade it back, and you fade it in the composition. You can hear, as you can see, it starts at 100 and then goes to 0. This composition is just for audio. As you can see, the visuals, because in his edit he turns it off, just has audio here. So that's, again, not very complicated. Okay, so the main part of his edit is obviously the text. This was the most complicated thing to make from his, but you know, if you download the project file, you have to download the fonts. So yeah, that would just you use the font that he uses. I don't really know where I got it from, but if you probably search online, you probably get the same fonts. The most common font he uses is like the round text. As you can see, if it goes rounds, and then another one he uses is this one. You'll be able to download both of them. This text is a little bit more easy to make. Basically, it's just two words fading up. Is this blood? The text again is just my 24KJHON preset, which is in my Discord server, which is just sit tone, nice textured, and factory noise. You can mess about again. If you really mess about with my preset, then you can really make it look like 24KJHON. It's just tracking amount, just to, you know, make it longer, and then it's a fade in and fade out transition. So, you know, it's a normal fade transition. It's not very complicated to do. For the question mark, that is a little bit more complicated. Let me show you what keyframes are for that. It starts here at like 139 degrees, and then it rotates and positions to here at 15 degrees, and it also has 0 opacity and then fades in, and then at the end it just tilts again to 179 degrees, so it rotates a whole 360 plus 179, and then moves position down there. Not very complicated to do, but you do need some messing about to do so. So if you do download the project file, you will have this question mark. This text is just fading in. Actually, no. Okay, let me double click this. Yeah, it's just going up is just positions, so you just position all of that. Also, this text is very complicated to do. Why is it safe? It's because this is also a mask in between itself. Right, if you put the mask in. The Morgan text is actually two texts, like two is Morgan and blood export all together. I just do a mask just to show Morgan, and then I use the mask path to display blood export because that's what he uses in the edit. It's a bit complicated to do. Maybe you can also let me just like use graph for that. Yeah, that looks better. Maybe it's a little bit too short, but yeah, you can probably fix the graph or make it look better. He uses the same font everywhere, so it doesn't really matter for what he does. But export, yeah. This text. Oh, I haven't even like taught you guys how to do this text. It's a little bit more complicated. I don't know how to do it. Let me show you. Animated font. The way you do that text, I should probably make a tutorial on it. Is you open up the thing, go animate, and put in position and rotation. I'm not gonna press it because I already have it, and then you seal. So after you put animation, after you get rotation and position, then you go and add a selector and wiggly, and then you open the wiggly section and put the wiggles per second to 0, and then put the position, and then mess around the rotation to make it kind of like the characters. Each character is like rotated individually. Yeah. It kind of shakes a bit, but it will, when you render it, it will be fine. So yeah, that's how you do that text. It's a little bit more, that's what he uses sometimes for his text, so it's good to know that. This text is, let me go to, it's definitely, that is just, you get a circle. Now I think RD8009 did this in a tutorial once. You get a circle mask and you write the text in and you make a mask on it, and then you go to the arrow, go to text, path options, and then put the mask in. You make the mask on the text quite big because you want to it's supposed to be on the text, and then you do the first path on, and then last margin you just change where it is, so you can just change where on the circle it goes on. Not very difficult to do that. The blood text also, that's another font he uses, I think, or I used a different font because I just couldn't find the font that he uses. That's just a mask. He doesn't actually fade in. It's a mask that fades from the bottom to the up. So he just fades in like that, and then he uses I think it's the same thing. He uses the same my preset in the Discord, in my Discord server. I use that, and then he used BCC Sleeky, I think that's what it's called. And what they do and what it does is I put a light source, so it starts at the bottom of the mask and the intensity at 236, and then when it fades up I put the light source up, so kind of like looks like it's like increasing intensity. Well, it kind of looks cool. And then intensity, and then 0 with the light source being, you know, at the top. And of course, just fading in the text. Again, it's not the fading out transitions he always uses. In this text, it's the same thing that we used here, the rotation and position thing. Let me double click on some composition. So in here, he uses this text. The same here. The thing is with this is you put as a keyframe on the position and rotation of the thing we did in the past text. And what is this shit? Like he uses he keyframes them instead of actually messing with them, because if you mess them without keyframing them, they won't move. But in this case, he moves them. So the something text, he just fades in, and then in this text he keyframes position in now I think 65 and plus to 48, and then fades into I think 0, and then of course he just uses fades out and fades in for that. What he uses for the text itself is I use gradient lamp. I think he uses factor noise and tint, but I think it's gradient lamp. You just put a light source up here and one up here, and just put blue and white. I think that's what he uses, and then put a deep glow. Not very difficult on that. Marina View Hotel. This text is a little bit more complicated. That's why I made a project file, because I know this stuff is complicated. I just do a quick walkthrough because it's easier. what this is Marina View. Let me go on here. Marina View again is just a silicone mask, and just, you know, again, text, path options, mask, and that's it. For the actual like squares, lines that he uses, right, that's just a mask. You could probably use it a different way. You could probably just like opacity them, but I just did a mask on. So what basically they do, they do just two shape layers that I did. You get a pen tool and you draw the shape. Oh my god, this resolution's actually awful. You get a pen tool and you just draw the thing around it. Yeah, so you get a pen tool and you draw the thing around the text, and you just pre-compose it then and put a mask on it. So you get a square mask and you just draw around it and keyframe it, keyframe the mask path to the view of the entire text as the same as the fade in from the Marina View hotel. So as you can see, it starts the same way and ends at the same time, so that has to make sure that it matches, because then, you know, if it doesn't match, then to make sure the mask path matches the same thing as the fade in of the text. The hotel text, what I used here is Kuda's version of 24KJHON's text. That's also on my Discord, so if you want Kuda's preset too, then you go in there. Basically just mess around with value. What I also use is roughen. Did I use roughen edges? Yeah, I use roughen edges on that. That just to like make it kind of like rough around the edges. So that's fading too. What he uses for the line, again, I think I did on a tutorial on this, is 3D stroke. You make a. So if you don't know how to make 3D stroke, go watch my last video on that. I think I made a video on that. So you make a 3D stroke and then you just keyframe the end, and just do that, and do a taper, same thing that we did in the last video. The 0 of the 1 of 4, you know, so that's just times new Roman, I think I used after that. For me, Marina View, I used area bold. That's what I always use. I think he used an area bold for that one, and maybe he used the normal one that he uses. I think. Yeah, so that's just fade in. Again, there's nothing in that, and then just fade all the text back. That's really it. For this one, for this text, it's a key text. He uses he fades it in. Again, this is just you can probably use a silicone mask like we did in the last text, but he uses I just did a line. You can do the same thing with a line or any shape taking place, so you can technically get a text, draw a line, mask a line, and then go here, text, path options, and mask one. It doesn't have to be a circle, it just has to be any mask. So I just did a line over it, and then this composition, let me go through the resolution. What I did here is I actually got the shape that he uses, and then just mask around it. So this is basically how it looks like. The key text times new Roman with the E bigger, so you basically just highlight the E and increase the size. The shape again is literally just draw it and then do a fill with yellow and a stroke of 4 pixels, and then just how he fades it in is just a mask. Again, he just puts a mask on top of the key and then just fades it in with a feather, I think. Not feather. 10 pixels in feather, and then he uses tracking, I think, tracking amount, to make the text move. That's for that one. The most complicated text is this one. This text is annoying to do, so that's why I made again the project file. It's so annoying to do, it's such a fucking hassle. What you do here is you write down what you want to do. Write down the text. Like here's the actual font he uses, Universe Auto Condensed. What you want to do is you write the word and you cut it. You cut it in like 2 frames. As you can see, it's like roughly cut out. Like, and then you go into the scale factor and you just stretch it. You disable this button and you just stretch it. And every like 2 frames you stretch it a different way. So maybe in the Y-axis, the X-axis. And then that's basically the text. It's super annoying to do because it's it looks like that. It looks like a glitch text, or aesthetic text. I think that's what it's called. If a question mark is the same way, it cuts in 1 frame, 2 frames, and goes to normal. So it's very annoying to do. That's so when you get a project file, you can, you know, mess around with this. What I do recommend is if you do it, type something new, you have to change every single frame that I changed because it's cut, right? So yeah, so you have to change every single frame individually, every single text which I cut individually. It's a hassle to do. And then the effects that he uses on that is comic abbreviation, fucking annoying name, and you just put the light source somewhere and then put the distortion amount to like 0.5. After you do that, it's just deep glow, drop shadow, and bevel alpha on that. Yeah, and just fades it in. So you do opacity and you just decrease your opacity on that. Same. Oh, okay, so this text is the same thing. He uses this text a lot, and I don't know why. For me, it doesn't look that great. So he uses the same thing, so you basically can just copy that text and change the words for it. What difference is he uses is every single text like this, right, has 3D enabled, and you just tilt it, so you press the 3D layer here, and then you get this kind of thing, and just move it in the way that you want it to look like. Same thing with this text, is 3D is enabled in here, so you just tilt it in the way you want it. That's just position. The way the text moves is position. Let me just go here. Position. Oh, it's actually not just position. It's position, orientation. Orientation is this thing, right? Is when you move the text, you move your orientation too. So yeah, so the orientation moves of I think it's Z. I think. Oh, yeah, Z and Y I think moves, and then the position moves. The blur is just motion blur, and then just opacity on that. This text, probably the most annoying text I've ever made. What this is, I had to search in ChatGPT how to make this actually. Is that I'm trying to is just fade in with his font, with a circle mask just to bend it. This thing, the match text. I don't think he made it the same way I did. I can make an in-depth tutorial on how to do this myself, or do this yourself, but I'm just going to do this roughly to show you how to do this. What he does is, you get a text, you like any text, so this bit, you have a text here, and you go to create, then create shapes from text, and after you have that, basically you have the outlines. Your text gets made into a shape, and then you just make a shape yourself. So you get into a polygon, you make a shape, you put the points to like 3 to make a triangle, and then you make the full color like black, you make it small, and you just rotation, and you make it so there's like tiny little triangles on the text. I'm going to delete that. If you would like an in-depth tutorial on how to make this text, because it would take a long time just to do one text on here, you can just comment it on DM on me on Discord. So yeah, after you've done that, he duplicates it and makes this one white. So yeah, that's what he uses, and then he just uses scale just to pop it out of screen. Very time-consuming text to do. So yeah, so if you know, again, project file in the description on my page. I've never really done a free project file before, so you know, don't leak it. Or you can leak it, but you know. For this text, that's a little bit more simpler to do. I'll show you. The cast off text, again, just fade in, nothing really special about that. What he uses here is a shape layer, so basically it's a line tool, and then just draws the line he wants, and puts that line behind forward pattern. As you can see, that's just the end on trim paths, so you have to put, you know, trim paths on here. I'll say to people, don't do 24KJHON edits if you're a beginner on editing, because this is, you know, you basically need to know the outlines of how to do editing before you do 24KJHON. So you know, trim paths on the shape layer, put that behind the word patterns, and the word patterns just has a gradient lamp on the sides, and then puts another text, or just fading in from and that's it. And then he uses opacity, I think. No, he doesn't. He uses position, so the position just moves with the text, and then I think, yeah, there's opacity, and just like that. So again, this text, let me go on. This text is the same thing as his other text I showed you. Things with this is, if I double click it, I pre-composed it because there's 2 texts in here, one cry and then the climb is split, so me is actually bigger, and the me actually just has between my 24KJHON preset again. I talk about the 24KJHON preset a lot because it uses it so much. The tint tone is just brown, and I think that's beige, and just, you know, I think it just increases the complexity, and the brightness is kind of low, and again just does the same thing. So just cut the text into flames, and then just increase the scale on that. Same thing with this, and the blood is actually just a red solid layer with displace tolerant displace, and just make it seem like blood, and that just appears at the end of here. Yeah, and that's it. Again, uses a 3D enables 3D just to bend the text in the Z factor, or is it Y, I think. For this transition, it uses a white solid layer for the 3 flames. Not very difficult to do. Again, for this text, not very difficult either. You just does fade in and does anything on top of it instead of the bottom. That's factor noise and tint. It is factor noise. So if you want to copy my factor noise and tint settings, off you go. Just fades in the text. And then moves it down, so as you can see the text moves down, and as the other text moves up. What I've learned with 24KJHON is he lets it fade out for a very long time. Usually editors like fade out the text very quickly. You can just, like, you know, take this and put it like this. He lets it breathe for a long while, so that's why, like, you can see the text smoothly, you know, fade out. With this text, it's the same about watts. That this text just make the watts bigger. So yeah, you just highlight watts, increase the size of it. That's it. For inside, you just put the word inside in a mask, and just do a mask path on just from bottom up, and fades out. This text, I'm not gonna go too in depth in it because I don't know how to do that blood text. The way I got it is from my YouTube tutorial. I don't think anyone knows how to do a blood text, right? That's what he uses. When you download the project file, this will be in it. So you can just change it. So you can just double click the precomp and then go to source and then change the word to it and change the font. Nothing difficult about that. I'm not going to talk too much about the text because I don't know how to do it. Just too much is just a fade in transition, and that is just our opacity and just opacity out. Don't know how to do it. Don't ask me. It's someone else made it for me. So this is the same thing. Just I think there's one flame which is different about this. Yeah. Yeah. This flame. For the used text, I just for one of the flames I use the stroke value and not the fill. So I just remove the fill and use the stroke. Yeah, and that's it. And oh yeah, I forgot the power again is just my 24KJHON preset. Yeah, he increases the word wars, and that's it for 3D text. And then oh yeah, how he does this is he cuts the precomp and masks around, so you can see there's a square. Oh shit, there's a square here, and then for the next frame he uses another mask to cover, and every single the first mask is add, second mask is subtract, and the third mask is I think also subtract. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so that's it. So he uses 3 masks just to fade in. So as you can see, it's pretty quick, but you can for this text, pretty simple. You just use a line tool just to draw the lines. A pen tool, sorry, not a line tool. Yeah, so you just text the type the words out normally, and then fade in, fade out. With this, it's just a mask value again. So start with nothing and go halfway where the first line shows, and go where the entire sentence comes up and show the line. Next text is the same text we used a while ago. So you'd see me with it's just a fade in transition and chainsaw. And this text is the same that we used here on the blood section, so that's just sleeky, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, so I just copied the same effects on there. So sleeky, in Tone he uses orange and white. I think he uses a bit of red. Mess around with it. BCC sleeks just to, you know, so just the mask again from 0 to the full thing, It's not a fade into addition, just a mask, and uses streaky just to do so intensity at 258 and then just goes up with intensity 0. He uses a different font. I don't know what font he uses. I also used optic compensation. Did I use? Yeah, I did. On reverse lens distortion, and then a field view of 100 a bit, so you know, kind of like bends, and then just fades out. Oh yeah, this text. I think this text will be used by basically every single editor in a couple weeks when this, you know, gets leaked everywhere. This project file. It's a very good text. It's a very like weird text that he uses, but yeah, that's 24KJHON. What he uses here is a bunch of different text here. It's very annoying to do because every single word, right, is its individual text. When he says in comments that this takes him a long time, I can assure you it takes him a long time to do this, because it took me a long time. But it's its own word, so just fade in transition with a tracking amount on the end. This power is the only word that is all together, and power is bigger than this, so you just increase the size of power. Tool is just factor noise and tint, the same tint and factor noise we used earlier. Was its own word, is just factor noise. No, it's not factor noise, just fade in transition. You position the text differently, right? You can, as you can see in the edit, he positions the text with just gradient lamp with just fade in. Into is again just fade in, and then a socket is, put this resolution up, is shape layer. You just make a square, and then so you make a square, and then put a line through it. Yeah, that's it. That's what he uses, and then just puts a text on it. So that's it. So he just does that, and then he precompes that, and then that's it. And how he fades it out is, I think he just uses a scale factor on that scale piece. Yeah, so from 100 to 0. Yeah, so that text disappears, and then again at the end he just uses the same kind of aesthetic text he uses, and then at the end he uses his 3D text. This is a tutorial from Mr. Hylex, I think, on his channel. So if you want to make your own 3D text like this, you know, you go out, check his channel out. He also makes 24KJHON edits and tutorials on this. Yeah, and then uses GTC JAWS for the black bars, and that's it. I will not be able to give out the CC he uses, and I do know that what CC he uses because he did tell me, 24KJHON. He uses Neptune's. Neptune. CXD's Neptune CC. He does use that, and his topaz settings that can't really give out either. Yeah. So there you go. That's the CC he uses. As you can see, it literally looks like 24KJHON edits his edit now. Yeah. So can't really give out his CC because it's not mine to give out. You will have to buy it, or you have to probably see if someone leaked it already. It is Neptune CC. He did tell me that it is Neptune CC. And yeah, that's basically the entire edit. I'm sorry I couldn't do it step by step, but if you do see any text or anything that you want to see here in an individual tutorial on how to do so, because I did go through it quite quickly, go and comment on just go comment or on my Discord. It is a very deep tutorial to go through. So if you have any other questions or any other tutorials, this isn't only just for intro. I didn't do the full edit because I think the full edit would take too long, and plus my computer would crash, to be honest. So yeah, that's just the tutorial, the intro of 24KJHON. If you want to see like the actual edit part, maybe I'll do so. Comment down below. If you have any more ideas on what you guys want to see, because I'm technically running out of ideas. I think I've done text transitions, now done a full tutorial on like full walkthrough. So yeah, so if you want to see like individual texts, or you want to see something, go on Discord, send me a picture, and I'll do it. I put it in my list, and then I do another text tutorial, because this is quite difficult to do. It took me a while, but yeah, the project file is in my page here for free, will totally for free. So if you want to use it, fine, off you go. It's not my edit to give out even, so just don't copy. I don't think copying edit would be any useful. So if you want to copy any text, you want to save any text, go ahead. But if you don't re-upload this, because I'll know, 24KJHON will know he'll just copyright strike you. So, you know, just don't upload this shit because it's not yours. I'm just teaching you how to do it. So yeah. So you guys, if you have any comments, please do tell me. Yeah, that's all from me. Bye.